Hello all and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be simply breaking down exactly why I got into this GBPJPY trade. So far it's doing a 32-to-1 risk reward ratio, which is a phenomenal trade for a week and even potentially for the month, it might seem. So I'll show you exactly why I'm selling, what levels I'm looking at, how I got into it, and we'll break down the video from there. Okay, forgive me, I am a bit ill right now. I've got the man flu, so forgive me for my voice. But I just wanted to do a quick video in regards to actually breaking this down. So we've got the monthly here. As you can see, this is my overall view on what I want to see happen. And this is backed by various things, but we can even take a look into something like this where we get this article of Bloomberg, where we're expecting to see, well, the pound needs to drop at least another 7% to solve the current account woes and all these kind of things, reading into these kind of things. Looking at the Bank of Japan, where again, they already stated various things and what they see happening with the yen and USD, JPY, and all these kind of things tying into each other kind of long term. So just looking at the strength of these currencies, we start to kind of take a view and a viewpoint of what's going to happen with these currencies, the strength of each one. So when we're trading something like GBPJPY, again, we already understand that the pound is in a really, really bad place right now. And the yen, I mean, even with the intervention, is not really looking to kind of drop off quite yet. The intervention wasn't enough to make things drop. So when we're looking at all these kind of things in regards to the fundamentals, and we start bringing it into the charts, you start to understand, cool, this is where we're at, and this is where we can actually see price going before we get another move. So right now, I'm bearish on the pound. To drop until at least these kind of levels down here. And I mean, ideally, in the dream world, just due to our entry parameters, we'll have to see price drop into here. So looking at all these kind of things, I start suiting up. I start thinking, cool, if that's the situation, what can we actually get? So let me just shift into the daily here. When we're in the daily, again, you see we got these kind of nice entries from these areas and coming into the start of the year and then moving on. And then we see these kind of highs get created. So before this move happened, I always envisioned something like this happening where we come up, do a liquidity wipe at 169, drop off, and then we make a move like this. But as you can see from that intervention and also the GBP news and tax cuts, and now a U-turn on tax cuts, we get this kind of move. So again, this high here is still intact. I'm still looking at that into the future, but this is what got my attention. As soon as we made that move up here, okay, drops. And I remember when this move happened so quick that no one really expected it. And I remember marking up these levels here. So I had this demand zone here, which we actually blasted through. Then we came quite close to this demand zone here. We actually done a slight liquidity wipe just here, as you can see, just due to the line. It kind of just took out this liquidity here, but we've still got this one intact. This one is still intact here. We've got liquidity still sitting here. And then, of course, we've got this daily demand that we still potentially need to tap into. So after all of this happened, I took a buy off here. I can't remember. Did I make a video on that? I don't think I did make a video on that. Probably one I should have done. Or did I? I can't remember. I think I did actually. Yeah, I did make a video on this. So you guys remember this trade when I was talking about this entry here. So bought up. What was about? How many pips did that do again? Can't remember. Was it like 400 pips or something like that? Anyway, that was a nice buy. Again, watch that video if you haven't watched it already to explain the entry. Very, very, very nice entry. And then from there, what was my thought process in regards to this? So let's just take a step back to the daily. So after that happened, the whole reason I was buying was to come back into this daily supply over here. So upon looking at that daily supply and looking at what we already see and what we like to see from our entries, again, nice liquidity, very, very clean. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's picture perfect. So I already knew that was going to happen. It was just to what extent. And I was kind of hoping for this one to get taken out. So we take this out, drop into here. And again, I already knew price just had to come back into this daily supply. And again, when we're looking at our charts, again, it's just the same things that happen over and over again. Clean highs get taken out, break a structure, we come back up, and then we drop it again, and then we continue to the downtrend. So looking upon that, you can imagine exactly what I'm looking at here. I'm thinking we've got liquidity here now to take out. Okay, we see that. It looks, I mean, we already know it's just protecting that demand there. So we've got this internal low to take out, where I'm just looking at that thinking, yeah, that's looking nice for a nice liquidity grab there as well. And I already showed you what's below this section here as well. So we've got various liquidities just chilling here. So we've got nice liquidity there, and we've got this internal low to actually take out. So looking upon that, looked at this daily. Obviously, I'm not going to trade the daily because that was suicide. I mean, 200 pip stop loss, that's not something I'll be looking forward to. So looking into this H4, stay looking at this area. I was like, this area looks very interesting. I already marked out the daily prior to this, by the way. Not going to go through that right now, especially just due to time purposes. Looked at the daily, I was like, yeah, what's the candle standing out? This one's standing out for me, but I was just looking at it. Again, my saying is always trade what's in front of you. So when I started looking at that H4 wasn't showing too much, looked into the H2, then I was like, oh, interesting. Looked at that candle, was sitting right above liquidity. And again, it just comes back to the same picture. It's the same thing in different formats constantly, all the time. So looking into that, I was like, mark that out. Again, already kind of measured up what the risk would be. Okay, it was about 50 pips. I was like, that's still a bit too much for me. I don't like stop losses being that big. Went into the H1 and it didn't really look any different except for, I mean, you can see that through there. So I was like, you know what? I'll leave this H1 marked up. We've already taken out Asia session high. So this area here is going to be interesting. So didn't set a sell limit or anything like that. I just kind of set an alert. I just said, alert me when you come into here. Alerted me when I was sleeping, obviously. So Asia session, that happened. And then this is what really kind of triggered this trade for me. So we got that H2 supply that we kind of tapped into quite nicely. Okay, Asia session high got ran as we expect in a European session. Okay, that's where everything kicked in for me. I was like, cool. I was up early as I usually am, 6:45. I wake up just before London session kicks in properly. Okay, and I'll just skip straight to the 15-minute. Okay, so when this happened, it really got my attention. So again, Asia session, we do exactly what we expect, where we take out Asia session high or the low, and then we did that. And then from there, and I'll jump into the 5 because that's where the actual entry was. Let me just find that for you right here. So this is how I simply entered this. So we had the Asia session high, boom, ran. Okay, so again, like I said, just this whole area, I was not looking to sacrifice 50 pips or so. So I let the Asia session happen. Then waking up the next day, boom, we get that liquidity wipe. Great. So from there now, once I know we've got that liquidity wipe, I already know I'm in my area. It's gone slightly past what I would have liked it to, but we're in the area now. So it's all eyes on what's the next entry. So as you can see here, I've marked out this 5-minute supply. And the way I mark out my supplies, again, it's always wick, body, and 50%. But on occasions like this, especially in a 5-minute chart, I mark out the whole section. I mark out the whole area. So I already know 13 pips max is what I need to trade this. Okay, we're in this area of the H2 that I previously showed. So now I've got this supply. Last up candle, price drops down. This is where the entry happens. This is where the magic happens. Boom. As far as price breaks below this low here, boom. We've got a remorse candle also here, along with this entry point. So boom, there's your entry, 13 pip stop loss. And then you look for targets. Again, I already showed you what I want on the monthly, which is very, very ambitious. But I mean, I don't see why not. Okay, I really don't see why not. So let's just find exactly where we were again. So right here. So when we're looking at that, I already had this area in mind. Okay, let me just go into the H2, just clean up my indicators. I already had this area in mind. Okay, simple. Big IPA. So I was like, great, that's a great target, because if anything else, then we've got also this H4 demand here as well. So IPA and this demand, I was like, that's very attractive, because one or two things can happen. Okay, price could come down into here, show this IPA, maybe start around for a little bit, then bounce off this H4 demand and then go flying up. But before that happens, how many pips is in it for us? Okay, from this from this 5-minute candle, okay, just fill in 50% of this gap is 370 pips. That's more than enough for me for the week. Okay, because all I really target is like 200 pips a week. Okay, as your account size gets bigger, as you start getting more confident, 200 pips is, if you could do that consistently, there's no reason why your account should be getting blown or whatever else. It should just continuously keep compounding. Okay, you get bigger lot sizes that you can use, you use less pips, and you make more money. It just makes sense. Okay, so minimum was going to get 350 pips minimum from this. If we came into this H4, again, about 420, as you can see, we did that. Okay, and now it's kind of floating around this H4 demand. I'm just patiently waiting to see what might happen, because I won't be surprised if we do get maybe a little pullback into this candle here. As you can see, we've kind of done the same thing, taking out these highs. Okay, price level 162.050, and then from there, can we then continue to drop, fill in these gaps, and do the rest that we want to do below? So that was literally how simple that trade was. Okay, that was literally how simple that trade was. I mean, I wish I could make it sound more complicated to make myself sound better, but sometimes there's no need for it. It's just as simple as that. And then potentially stacking on orders. I mean, this is something I do. Once again, like I was saying to the team the other day, sometimes discipline is just simply, let me find it, I wrote it somewhere here. Trade management it should be in. Okay, so yeah, as I wrote here, sometimes discipline is simply focusing on one winning trade for the week and milking it with stacks. Stacks simply meaning once you get into the trade and you see it's doing what you want it to do, just simply keep stacking on it, adding more positions. Okay, so you turn a 300 pip move into 500 pips, the same move, but you're making more pips out of it because you're adding more positions. Okay, so that's literally it. Again, don't get sidetracked by what everyone else is looking at. Trade it and slash trading if you already found a winner. Okay, there's no point trying to say, oh, you know what, this person's trading this and they're winning. Let me go look at that. Or this person's trading that. Let me go look at that. And especially when it's NFP week. So these are the little factors that you need to potentially add into your game just to change things. And then you find trades like this and just milk it. And to this, like until right now, as making of the time of making this video, I'm still holding. Because what do I want to see long term? I already showed you what I want on a monthly, but at least on a daily, I was really thinking, cool, let's target these lows over here. Okay, because we haven't broken structure to the upside again. We've done a clean liquidity wipe, broke structure all to the downside. We've done a pullback. I mean, even if you pull that back on a fib, let me just make that bigger. We'll pull it back on a fib. I mean, you see exactly what you want to see. Okay, boom, into our premium. So look at that. I mean, I didn't even pull up a fib before that, but look at that perfectly into our 89%. And then we look at our fib extensions, and where do our fib extensions line us up? Okay, minus 27, just below over here. We've got all of these, and then we've got 62 over here. But right now, I'm just focused on this demand. But look how clean that comes into our 89%. And that was the first time I actually pulled up that fib. So to see it come in that clean, I mean, I'm not surprised, but it still fascinates me how sometimes it just comes in that clean. So yeah, hope you got value from this video and you take something on board to actually implement into your training. And you already know where to find us if you actually want to be part of the community and learn from me on a one-to-one basis. So feel free to actually check out the website, check out our plans, and then personally message me if you want to. Until next time, wish you a good week, good trading, and a blessed week ahead. Take care.